This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. Welcome to
How's That Working For You?
Where
We spill the tea about relationships, millennial adulting, or whatever else life decides to chuck at us.
Hey Kat, what's up?
Hey, nothing much. Actually, you sent me an article that says that Tuca and Bertie's coming back, which I'm super stoked about because it was definitely something that, it's such a relatable show, and I was so upset when I heard they were canceling it. But Adult Swim's taking it on, which is awesome.
I know. By the time this episode airs, it might already be on television, which is so exciting.
I just first of all, I love Ali Wong, who voices Bertie. She, and you know this, she's like my freaking, she's Asian American, part Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese. She just paves a road for other young Asian American women like myself. She's hilarious, and the beauty of this series is that you can find something so relatable in all of the characters. And it's cute, it's funny, yeah.
Okay, so Tuca is my spirit animal. Every day I want to be more like her adventurous, exciting self. Maybe not her irresponsibility, but everything else about her is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, she has so much big dick energy.
Big dick energy. Why am I not surprised you would use that term?
I don't know. But it's I feel like now that we've talked about some of the toxicity about misogynistic things, misogyny and all that stuff, I guess big dick energy isn't a great way to put that. But she's just
I like how Betty White puts it. If you want to be tough, don't grow a pair of balls, grow a vagina, they can take a pounding.
I love that. I love that. Okay, yeah, okay. So big vagina energy, let's call it that. Yeah, she's just this uber confident person. Bird. Toucan. Toucan. And she's just it's funny because I feel like there's pieces of us in each of the characters, Tuca and Bertie. Bertie has a little bit of that, she's more responsible. She's less confident than Tuca. And that's, they play off of each other because Tuca kind of helps her get out of her shell. And then Bertie tries to help Tuca be more responsible.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. They play really well together. I think that their friendship is, mutually beneficial. But sometimes I feel bad for Bertie because Tuca is a giant 13-year-old at moments. And it's just I can't imagine forever having a 13-year-old you would need to take care of.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm trying to remember, now that you're bringing that up. There are so many episodes where Tuca is just it's Bertie's babysitting her the whole time. Which
oh my god, the sex bugs!
Oh my god, that was so gross. Yeah, there's that, and what was it? I think that Bertie had an egg. No, it wasn't Bertie, it was Tuca. Tuca had an egg. And, she was in the hospital, and Bertie was doing something. She was at some sort of...
Oh, she was at that bakery convention.
So Bertie finally chose her success and her goals over Tuca, and it was because kind of Tuca was the bird who cried wolf, and finally when Tuca actually needed Bertie was like, no, I want to chase my success. I want to do something for myself, and in that she kind of left Tuca hanging, and Tuca kind of guilted her the whole time. I think she cut a hole through because Tuca lived on top of Bertie.
They had that hole in the roof?
Yeah, the hole in the roof. Um, oh man, I wish that I had watched this more recently. You probably have a better memory of it because I tend to binge shit and I don't have as good of a memory as you as you do. Um, no, I remember bits and pieces, and there's like they cover so many they cover so many controversial and just important talking points that society should be talking a little bit more of in a more approachable and digestible way because it's a cute, quirky cartoon. Like when Bertie was being sexually harassed by her boss.
Oh my god, that was so gross.
It was so gross. And it's because he was this famous chef or something like that. And then not only that, he took credit for everything that she did. Like she came up with that new pastry, like the bird pastry, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't know, but he took complete credit for that, and he did. It was just, and then there was that the girl. It was that whole time when Tuca and Bertie stopped being friends, and then Bertie found a new friend.
Yeah, that young girl who finished pastry school and then like moved to the city to get a job.
Yeah,
it was like her underling.
Yeah, her underling, and then it was just an interesting thing where finally her underling called her out by about like letting this guy take advantage of her and not warning her about how abusive he was. Like, oh my god, I feel like this was
that was a tough episode.
It was a tough episode. I feel like this was supposed to be a fun episode for us to be talking about it, but it did. Like, I somehow turned it into this kind of more.
Oh, finally, you're the Debbie Downer. That was my fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, what I didn't... Yeah, okay, well, back to some of the more fun stuff, I guess. I didn't know this when I first watched Tuca and Bertie. It was like not a spin-off, but it was made by the creators, or some of the creators of BoJack Horseman. So it's kind of like the more fun and colorful, well, not colorful, but the more fun, girlier version of BoJack Horseman, and it covered more topics about feminism and the struggles that we as women go through, i.e., workplace sexual harassment. You know.
And then the whole sexual assault storyline at the end, where she finally confronts what happened to her as a child.
Like, can we talk about how they almost ended the series with that?
Would have been awful. Because I was upset, and it left just such not a bitter taste in my mouth, but it was like, I get where she's coming from, where it's like, okay, she's finally, as an adult, taking on what happened to her as a kid, and her whole life crumbles around her, and then it was over. That was like so upsetting for me.
Yeah, and she takes her shitty boyfriend back, which kind of, it sucks. I don't know, I didn't see that coming, because
it's not that he's shitty, because I get where he's coming from. She literally disappeared for a week.
Yeah.
And didn't say anything, and she'd been acting really weird up towards that, because I feel like up and towards her, taking on what happened to her as a child, like, their relationship was fine. Like, there was nothing, it wasn't the best relationship in the world, but also wasn't toxic.
Well, he was, like, supportive in certain ways, in a lot of ways, I should say. He was supportive, and he would support, being there for Tuca, and which I feel like sometimes you don't find that often in a partner, is that, not saying it doesn't exist, because it truly does exist, but sometimes, like, your partner's fully focused on you, and if you want to support your friend or something like that, and as long as it's not, like, taking away from you, they may not just care about your friend. They may just not care about your friend. So he was there for her, there for Tuca, and it was fine. But at the end, he did not handle the situation well.
I feel like their relationship ran its course, and then they're trying to bring it back from death, and there's not really a need for it to come back.
Yeah, and it was just like, it seemed like they had been together for a while too, which is kind of sad. And I think that there's something to be said about being in a relationship and keeping something so locked up, something so like so character defining in your past from your partner. Not saying that she intentionally did that, but the fact that she never brought it up was like a piece of her that he was never able to, never had the opportunity to confront with her, you know?
Yeah, but she never told her best friend Tuca either.
That's true.
She never told anybody from the sound of it.
And that's why she spun out.
Yeah, that's why she spun out. It's because she finally, for the first time in her life, took on and recognized the trauma that she had went through, and it just destroyed so many aspects of her, except for her work. Because that one scene of her boss, like, stepping into the empty office, like, yeah, good job, you've been doing great, and then leaving. That was great.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Like, I don't know. It was so unrealistic, but so funny. Like, her boss.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think it also goes to show that, like, Tuca was also a hyper responsible person, and she was reliable enough for her boss to just kind of let her do her thing. Like,
I need a job like that.
Well, I mean, I think that, and that's a little bit why of sometimes I'm trying to create a voice in a discussion or be part of the discussion around mental health, because there are, like, you know me, and I've talked about the fact that I have bipolar disorder, and while I'm not cycling, or like I have it under wraps, which is where everyone should try to be at, like if they have a mental illness, like we all want to work towards stability, right? But there are points where it's like maybe there's a day where you just need a day to kind of recollect and stuff like that. And I feel like there are bosses, if bosses could, or if companies could be more mindful of the fact that, like, a lot of their very, very talented employees and talented and able employees sometimes need a day, like a mental health day. I feel like there would be more opportunity for people who are atypical thinkers, you know? And it just, like, yeah, that was like a side thing that, like, I kind of noticed about when you mentioned Bertie being able to just leave. Is that, like, if there were more bosses, not saying that you can do that all the time, but like every once in a while, if somebody's been up to that point, an A+ employee, super productive, super contributing to the projects and the work, if they, like, disappeared, it must be a good reason, right? You know, like,
presumably,
yeah. I don't know, people will disagree with me, don't at me, but you know, like
oh, you kill me, girl.
Yeah, I if it's okay to mention, I think your husband, like, pointed out that there was, like, a correlation between your life and hers, right? Like, you're like Tuca, but responsible. Like,
if Tuca and Bertie had a baby.
Yeah, exactly. And with oh my gosh, so it's just like you came up from this, like, you came up from being part of this, like, really terrible environment, and now you're living in a healthy lifestyle with a healthy, you know, building a healthy family. I mean, family meaning you and your husband. But yeah, I think that you can relate to some of the abuse that Tuca receives from her family, right? Like, just, I don't know. Is it abuse? Is it neglect? Or is it just disrespect? It's disrespect.
It's more disrespect than anything.
I think it was more abuse for Tuca, but for you, it's disrespect, I think. Like,
yeah, definitely not to the same extent. Although one thing that Tuca has that I wish is a juicy booty. I have the booty, but it ain't that juicy.
It's a juicy booty. Stop it! Oh my god, that's like the most like Tuca. Like that. If we were to list off, like, the similarities between Tuca and V, it would be the juicy booty. It would be like, you know, those like what is that chart with like the 2 circles in the middle? Like
I
the
think
ring.
those are Venn diagrams, but don't
Yeah.
quote me on it.
I think they are. I think it is a Venn diagram. Wow, like the education system has failed me.
Girl, it failed me too.
But yeah, it would be like Tuca in one circle, V in the other circle, juicy booty in the center where it's like.
The funny thing is, people, my butt isn't even that big.
I mean, okay, compared to my butt, and that's not saying much. Compared to my butt, your butt is super juicy. my butt's just it exists. It exists, and it's there. I will acknowledge that my butt exists, but it's a very small and
Good, because
minuscule.
it's over Instagram.
Oh my god! Stop it! It's not that bad. I could be in a G-string doing those things, but I'm not. I'm respectable.
I can't wait till season 2. I'm so excited.
I feel like we're finally finding our groove here, and I'm here for it.
Yes. Okay. Well, speaking of that, we should probably give our end of episode advice, which means you're probably going to say something really heartfelt, and I'm going to say something stupid, and then the episode will be over.
Man, I feel like we have to revisit Tuca and Bertie because there's so much to talk about. Like, maybe next time we can come up with, like, we can find one aspect of their friendship and relate to it.
Yeah,
but
season 2. I'll put it in season 2. We'll come back to it, people.
Yeah, but, like, I think that both of us have little bits of Tuca and Bertie in us, and, for different reasons. And I think that the beauty about Tuca and Bertie that we can relate on is that we, like Tuca and Bertie, we also had a falling out, and we disagree with a lot of things because like Tuca and Bertie, we're both very different people that have a really strong friendship. And I think that well, my lesson or takeaway from this is that, like, if you, in order to let's say, like, it's acknowledge your strengths in your friendship and acknowledge your friends' strengths and work towards coming together and growing from those strengths. I'm pulling this out of my ass because you kind of threw that one at me.
Yes. Okay. I have even worse advice. Don't be like Bertie and leave all of your emotional shit to deal with when you're a healthy adult and your life gets in order. Deal with your shit when you're still young and restless, so by the time you get a good job, you don't disappear for a month while you put your life back together.
How is that?
If at all possible.
How is that worse advice? That's better advice than what I said.
Well, because it's hard to say when a person's ready, because I know I still have a lot of emotional things that I need to address and work through. But
I think that you kind of found a loophole because you work for yourself, so...
I do, for the most part. Like, if I need to disappear for a day, as long as it's not a day I have meetings, I can. But the next day is going to be shit because I have to catch up.
Oh my gosh. No, it's fine. I mean, you're, like, one of the most responsible people I've met in my life, and, like...
And with that, we will see you next week, people. We'll be talking about mental health, so, you know, just kind of jumping off of what we touched on today. Bye!
Hello, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Andrew. And I'm Christian.
And I'm Alec.
And we are Rad Theater, a podcast where a bunch of friends play role-playing games and share a single brain cell, and the GM doesn't always have it. Oh, and it's theater spelled the correct way, Theatre.